What's going on, guys? Eternal Wind back with another Ghost of Tsushima video, and today, based on the community poll, we are going to cover one of my all-time favorite builds for the Assassin. And this very well may be the last one for the Assassin. Um, in fact, for those of you who have watched my past Eternal's personal favorite videos, I did put out an Assassin one first, which I'm actually going to take down and retweak and then put it back up, and that's basically going to cover my OG Poison Assassin. However, this being, again, probably one of the last builds that I find worthy enough to be on Eternal's personal favorites, this is going to be my full Assassination Assassin build. So let's get right into the gear. Alright guys, so we're going to start off with the old Moon Katana with melee and Oni damage, Moon Master, and Poison Blade. And then for the blowgun, because we are running the cooldown perk in the technique tree in perk 2, we are not going to be taking any type of status effect damage or status effect duration. So with that being the case, we are going to take stealth attack damage and stealth, because that's pretty much the only other perks you can get on the blowgun that are actually good for this build. And then we are going to run hallucination darts and helmet piercing ammo. If you don't like hallucination darts, you can always throw on shield piercing, so that way you can be pretty much guaranteed a headshot. But because on how this build is going to function, we are going to get hallucination darts as well as hysteria from the charm. Again, this is pretty much the only build where I like to use hysteria, just because it is an all-out assassination build. So getting those enemies to turn on themselves to allow you to try to get assassinations on other enemies is really nice, but it can also hinder you quite a lot. So you kind of have to play your cards right when you go to do any type of assassination. You can still get hit by enemies that aren't targeting you, so just be wary of that. On the assassin charm, again, we have stealth attack damage with Oni damage, and we already covered hysteria, and chain vanish. The first time I released this build, I actually ran chain vanish twice, once on the charm and once in the technique tree. But with this being an all-out stealth attack build, it made sense, but it left my ultimate feeling really weak. And I don't want to just be doing assassinations, because there are going to be plenty of times where that's just not an option, right? So we're only taking one version of Chain Vanish through the charm, which you see here. This build is going to utilize maxed out stealth attack damage. Again, that is the whole purpose of the build. But I'd like to have some other things up my sleeve, just in case I'm not able to assassinate, because you're not always able to. So with that being the case, we are going to run Magma Bomb. Oh boy. I used to really like this until they changed it to what it apparently should have been. It used to give you a duration very much like a smoke bomb, but it would knock people down, so it made it really hard to assassinate anybody, because they'd be knocked down as if you had drained their stagger gauge, or like kicked them with a typhoon kick or something. So you couldn't assassinate them, you could just stab them in the chest or whatever while they were on the ground. Now you can assassinate anybody within that cloud, but the cloud of smoke from the magma bomb only lasts about 5 seconds. So you can only get about 2 or 3 assassinations whenever using this, but based on the build, it can be rather clutch. To try to get this back as frequently as possible with this beautiful DNS error that just popped up, which you won't be able to see. Thank you, Sucker Punch. Alright. Now that's gone, we're going to rock cooldown reduction 2 times, cooldown reduction and reduction on kill, with lucky and increased radius. This will just try to hit as many people as possible without getting blast radius. To give you as much resolve as you can. Obviously, Lucky is there to try to get back right after usage. And then, doubling up on smoke, we are running another epic smoke bomb, again with maxed out stealth attack damage, cooldown reduction on kill, lucky, and munitions. Pretty much your poison darts, since you're not going to be able to do damage, just going to be there to get as many headshots as you can, like really quickly, to build up your ultimate if you need it. Obviously, you're going to be able to weaken with the blowgun, which is going to give you another 25% in terms of your stealth attack damage. I don't think you can one-shot a Tengu or archers with this, but we'll find out. I'll tweak it. It's been a while since I've played this build. Guys, this is going to be probably my least favorite of my favorite builds for the Assassin. They nerfed Assassinations a long time ago. You used to be able to do so much damage with Assassinations. And they nerfed it quite a bit, so we all kind of got away from it. But it's still a fun playstyle to have. Obviously, it's more used on the Assassin than anybody else. But with the gear out of the way, do keep in mind, we've got Oni damage twice. Melee damage once, and stealth attack damage maxed out 3 times. So, just looking at the numbers here, you're actually going to have a 95% stealth attack damage against an Oni. And then melee against an Oni is going to be 32%, so it's not going to be terrible. Your other ways to go about damaging will actually be fairly decent, but it does suck that we don't have that beautiful, beautiful poison through Deadly Nightshade. But because of that, we are actually running Refreshing Vanish. So for the techniques, again, running Refreshing Vanish, this will pretty much heal you to full if you get an assassination once you use it once through Refreshing Vanish. And then we are picking up Critical Hit here. I really wish we could make something work here for Super Strike, but it's just, even with the full assassination damage build, it just doesn't feel worth it. The damage just does not feel worth it. Now, if I could get this down here to where I could still get critical hit, it would probably be much more fun to use, but I don't want to lose that additional 30% because if you guys don't know, critical hit does impact the amount of damage that the ultimate does on the assassin. This perk does increase ultimate damage for the assassin. So does stealth attack damage. So even though we're not running like double ultimate on this build, because we have stealth attack basically 4 times through perk 1 here with critical hit, 2 stacks of Oni and a stack of melee damage, if you hit an Oni with the ultimate, it is going to slap pretty good. It's not going to be, like I said, as much damage as running 2 stacks of ultimate damage, but with this being a stealth attack build, at least we have increased damage for our ultimate. Down in perk 2, since we're not running Deadly Nightshade, we are going to run the newer perk, Deft Hands, so anytime we get a critical strike or an assassination, it'll reduce all ghost weapons cooldowns by 3 seconds. Couple this with the already cooldown reduction or cooldown reduction on kills that we have. This will make it pretty nice to get our stuff back with not running Spirit Kunai. I don't think this perk is amazing, but anytime you're not running a poison build, I do think it's the best perk to pick up. And then we are going to run for perk 3 Overshadowed over Chain Vanish, just to give this build a little bit more diversity. Just allow this build to do more than just stealth attack. So with that being the case, covering the gear and the techniques, let's go ahead and show off the build.
I tell it. One of my favorites. Eo's realm sent its Oni and horrors.
I already know what kind of build I need to make for Eternal Personal Affairs for the Ronin this week. Alright guys, we're just going to run in and shit on stuff.
Spread destruction and fear.
How about we do this?
The land.
That is absolutely not what I wanted to do.
Stood against them.
But, as you can see,
But not outmatched.
damn, that damage is actually pretty good. Let's do a little of this. Get this guy, get him all freaking out on us. And then, see again. Alright, let's see how much damage this does. Pretty good considering. Do a little of this. Do a little of that. These guys are freaking out. I totally goofed on that. Run in here again.
One foe fell. A ghost flew.
That was kind of sick.
Another.
Come on, man, I can prepare that. Yeah, buddy. Come on, you want some? Yeah, buddy. Alright. So with that out of the way, let's go scoop up our darts and roll on to the obelisk here. This build can be pretty chaotic, but it's pretty fun to mess around with. I'm looking for the old bird dick. There we go. Yay, bird dick. Yeah, you want some of this shit? Alright, so that was an instant assassination. That was kind of sick. Get this guy too. Let's see if we can actually... Nope, can't get any more. But they are freaking out, so that's good. Go ahead and do nice amounts of damage there. How about we do this? Keep in mind that you can Moonmaster cancel people without coming out of your vanish to be able to get them down enough to where you can actually wind up assassinating them in one shot.
He never saw it coming.
No, he really didn't. He really did not see it coming. So let's do this and see how much damage this does. Almost a one shot. It's pretty close. Pretty good. You ain't pelting me, buddy. We are going to do that. The good thing is you can still drop their stagger gauge to keep these little bastards from teleporting. And because you have 2 stacks of Oni damage, your Moonmaster cancel is actually going to do a nice amount of melee stagger damage to those bastards. I was hoping the Tengu would be down here. I hear him though. Alright, so the good thing is you can still one-shot them with that. Plus you got Poison Blade, which is still going to strip stagger gauge, making it rather easy. Alright. To take them out here. I want to get them close to this for this reason right here. So that'll help out a nice amount. Alright, I could have sworn somebody had teleported right there. I will not be able to... Oh, just in time. Let's go. Oh, you can straight assassinate them. Alright, that's beautiful. I didn't realize that. So what we're going to do here is weaken this guy and just go in. Nice. Nice. Very nice. Alright guys, that right there is going to be my full assassination build for the assassin. Again, probably like my least favorite build for the assassin that's worthy enough for me to put him on Eternal's personal favorites. But I do think is a very fun build to play. And gives you something a little different for the assassin that not a lot of people do these days. A lot of people just go for ult spam builds, and I'm sorry, but that shit is just boring to me. I mean, to each their own, of course. I would do it more so on the hunter than any other build or class rather, obviously. But that's just because the hunter is OP and the best character in the game. But aside from that, again, that's going to be an example of the build. I will be tweaking my very first assassin build that I released on Eternal's personal favorites and release what is pretty much going to be my version of an OG poison assassin. I'll re-release that probably in the next week or so. So be on the lookout for that. The other build that I think is probably my second favorite build to play outside of the OG Poison Assassin, with this being my third, is going to be that Stone Striker Assassin build that's on Eternal's personal favorites, because that thing hits like an absolute truck. Stone Striker is just such a phenomenal legendary, guys. That's easily one of my favorite. And the fact that you can use it on every character is just awesome, even the hunter. But that is going to conclude the build showcase, guys. I appreciate you coming out. If you would like for me to do any type of build requests, please do note that you can drop anything of the sort down in the comments section below, during community posts or polls, anything like that. I'll be more than happy to see what I can do to try to make a build design specifically for you. But if you enjoyed this video, please consider smashing that like button and subscribe to stay up to date in all of my content. I appreciate you guys coming out, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Into the
Ghosts?